Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. In the rich history of dancehall, we've seen countless DJs with enormous talents do amazing things on the microphone. But in terms of raw natural ability, it's hard to name more than 2 or 3 within the same stratosphere as the lyrical phenomenon called General Trees, a technical master of toasting as an art form that influenced an entire generation of DJs, especially those who adopted the speedy style of rapping that became the norm in the mid-1980s. It's no exaggeration to say that this man was among those who ushered in the golden age of dancehall in the 90s, when it truly became an international sound. For context, he was a template and inspiration for the likes of Major Worries, who would inspire Shabba Ranks, or the then little Beanie Man, who he would mentor while he was still moonlighting at his uncle's sound system, or even Daddy Freddy, who began to toast like him and took his speedy style to the next level. The examples of his influence are just numerous. Personally, I rate his stylistic impact on dancehall as very similar to Dennis Brown's own impact on roots reggae singers. In sound clashes, he was a literal nightmare to face, and has since been named by legends of dancehall in the 80s like Papa San, Bunny General, and Burro Banton as the most lethal DJ they ever faced. But despite his wizardry and unlimited skills that made him a street legend, as well as chart-topping recording artist with the biggest song in Jamaica in 1986, a host of factors saw him fail to join the massive wave of global success that dancehall would enjoy in the 90s and beyond. But what really happened? Let's take a look at the spectacular General Trees, the most gifted DJ in modern dancehall. He was born in Most Edwards in December 1960 in Kingston, Jamaica, and he grew up amidst the super wave of musical energy that was sweeping the island and would gravitate toward the sound systems. By the time he came into his teens, he had 2 main loves in his life. The first of these was shoemaking, as his father was a cobbler, and the second was toasting like his heroes in Big Youth, Dillinger, and the Lone Ranger. Over time, he became excellent at both of them, making great shoes during the day and in the evening getting on the microphone in any sound system he could find, and he would soon build a following in his neighborhood. Around that time, in 1977, popular sound system Black Scorpio was among the elite outfits in the land and had ace toaster Lord Sassafras as the main DJ. He was then looking for some new talent to join the crew, and when someone told him about a teenager who was tearing it up at a local sound system nearby, he went to see him for himself and was blown away to see young Amos doing his thing. And afterwards, he invited the 17-year-old to come and join him at Black Scorpio. He accepted and in no time made a name for himself at this new outfit, as his fast-paced style of delivery was unlike anything else during what was the rubbered-up period of dancehall and his trademark slower pace of toasting. He not only gained a massive reputation as the top DJ, but as one to fear at sound clashes, as he would put other toasters to his lyrical sword. And whenever they went up against other crews like Creation Sound System, King Jammy's, or Kilimanjaro, Lord Sassafras moved to the US 2 years later, and that youngster took over as Black Scorpio's #1 DJ. By that time, he'd gotten the name General Trees. There are many conflicting stories as to how he got that nickname, and the most popular is that he was given it by legendary radio DJ Barry G because it sounded like he had 3 voices in one, and the second is that he got it because he was skinny like a palm tree. He was a literal titan on the microphone with delivery so fast that he could pack loads of syllables into a single bar without missing a beat. In lyrical battles, he was deadly with his staccato speedy flow that was dripping with humor and an ability to improvise in a split second. All qualities that saw him defeat literal giants like Yellow Man, Burro Banton, his first cousin, Lieutenant Stitchie, as well as Supercat. He dispatched all his opponents with ease in epic sound clashes, with the only tough competition in the person of Papa San, who was also a speedy toaster who he faced off against twice, winning one battle and drawing the second. General Trees' fame was spread abroad as he would lead Black Scorpio against its arch-rivals King Jammy Sound System in a slew of clashes in Britain and America, with the most epic at Club Amazura in New York. He was a king in the sound system scene, but would make a transition into recording artist when Black Scorpio started its own label in 1984, and he became an instant hit with his first single, Heart, Mind and Soul, plus subsequent massive hits like Monkey and Ape and Ghost Rider. His incredible technique, humor and storytelling would help make Black Scorpio among the top record labels in those early days of the digital or ragga era in the mid-1980s. In 1986, Trees bagged the biggest song of the year with Minibus, an enormously popular song that was a humorous take on his experiences while traveling on Jamaica's public transport system that was a vivid snapshot of Jamaica's urban culture in the 1980s. The song wasn't only a smash hit, but became the first dancehall tune to be named Song of the Year by Jamaican Broadcasting Corporation. By then, General Trees was a total superstar and at the very peak of his fame, a consummate artist totally in love with his craft and having the time of his life. But as is so common with such passionate artists, they most times ignore the business side of the music. In Trees' case, that was a gross understatement. Behind the scenes, he was practically broke as he was hardly getting any money from Scorpio for all his work on the sound system or his hit records in the charts, and lived mostly off gifts from his fans. He was constantly under pressure from family members who told him regularly that he was really dumb to allow himself get taken advantage of by Black Scorpio for so long. But he was extremely loyal to Black Scorpio for bringing him into the limelight in the first place and kept working with that outfit until the beginning of the 90s. When for reasons which aren't too clear to me, he fell out with Black Scorpio owner Maurice Johnson and parted ways with that outfit after more than a decade. That was the exact period that Jamaican DJs like Shabba Ranks, Supercat, and Shakademus and Pliers were getting noticed by international record labels, and dancehall was getting accepted into the global mainstream. Now an independent artist, he found himself struggling to get his bearing and lost momentum in the process. He would record for various producers, but bagged very few hits, as his nice and humorous storytelling style was no longer in demand, as the atmosphere in dancehall had shifted to much darker and slack territory. But the main reason I believe he didn't blow up in that era was that he remained true to his authentic and traditional dancehall style, and wouldn't switch up or water it down to appeal to international audiences. But through it all, he stayed fairly active over the years, recording music sporadically right into the new millennium, and going on tours both home and abroad to perform his biggest hits to both his old and new fans. And he even reunited with Black Scorpio in 2005 for a reunion tour of Europe. And he stayed very active on the home front and was consistent doing his thing until he suffered health challenges with 2 mild strokes in 2018 and 2020, which he recovered from, even though it slowed down his vocal prowess. And today, he's not what you would call rich by any standards, but he's truly happy with what he's achieved in his career and the industry he's influenced so much. He tells whoever cares to listen that he has no regrets because he got to do what he was born to do. But I'm glad he's currently working on getting paid his royalties for all his hit records in his peak years, and is making a living off show appearances and recording dub plates for overseas DJs and producers. Personally, I wish his story had been different from a business point of view, but the truth is, General Trees, the consummate artist and legend who lives for his craft, is quite grateful to Jah for his journey and will always see music as his passion and his love and hardly as a business. Something very rare and inspiring in the kind of world we find ourselves in today. His own idea of success is very different from most of ours, and that in itself is a wonderful thing. So there you have it. Thank you for watching this video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, Jah bless.